And we are in. I need to make like a beaming transition for us to just like appear.
Be like, whoa, we've just been on space.
Well, I've been told in Power Rangers there's actually air in space.
Well, that's funny because so in Dragon Ball Z, there's air in space as well, apparently.
And,
So I
and
think it must be a thing.
I guess I don't get it, but sure, sure. But we are not talking about Power Rangers now. We are talking about Star Trek Discovery episode no season 3 episode 9 Terra Firma part 1. And yes,
Mhm.
this time there is a part 2. So we know because it's next week. It's not like that first episode where it was part 1, but there's no part
Yep.
2.
You know it's going to be like season 4 and it'll be part 2. And you'll be like, ah, see what you did there, showrunners. See
That'd be
what you
funny.
did there.
Do you think it would be the season premiere, a random episode during the season, or the season finale?
I think the first one. I reckon it would be just a really random one. Right? Why not? Let's have like a random thing in there because they'll be like, we want to be edgy.
Right. It'll be like Unification 3, where it'll be like 20 years from now in another show. Uh,
Yeah,
Star Trek Prodigy, whatever the name of that episode was, part 2.
yeah. And like someone will be talking about it, why was that? And we're like, well, 20 years ago, we decided to go with a joke, and it seemed to pay off.
It works. It works. So this episode was really interesting.
Mm,
Um, it wasn't bad. Like I don't want to say that I didn't like it, because I did like a lot about it, but I felt like it was uneven. I guess is that maybe the word that I'm looking for?
Um, I I think it was fine because you got to know what happened to Georgiou, but I think it's in a time where either they don't know where they're going, if it's going to be a time travel or what I kind of think is what's going to be inside the head. And I think that's going to be a main thing. I reckon it will. Well, you have to go inside yourself to then defeat this, and then she comes out like, oh, I finally killed the head of this and I have this, and it'd be like, well done, you just cured yourself and you didn't know why. And they'd be like, ah, didn't realize. And that's all it will be. um she'll just come out and be like, I told you I could do this. It'd be like, well done, Jojo, well done. And that was it, that's it.
Oh, let me see if I can bring these pictures in. I'd Shay pull some images from Carl. I never pulled them out.
All this stuff on the newspaper.
Yeah, so I don't have any. I'm gonna have to steal someone's close up from the newspaper, because I did not get that. So I'm gonna steal it from that article that Eric sent us. Um, but while I'm working on pulling those up, uh, what kind of stood out? What kind of, like, I guess we can jump around a little bit. So there were three different plots going on in this episode, maybe four. I guess we've got the stuff with Georgiou,
Yep.
which let's I guess let's talk about that one of the big reveals before we even get down to this planet. When they're talking with Kovich, we find out that there had been a traveler, or another traveler from another dimension, that had ended up staying in the prime timeline, or the prime dimension before. Because and now okay, so let me start over here. We officially have it stated in Star Trek canon that the different timelines are
Mm,
being considered different dimensions. They're not different timelines. They're caused by temporal paradoxes, or temporal rifts, or whatever, but they're different dimensions. So
mm.
that opens up a whole new can of what the fuck is going on. Because now, do we have another dimension where the Borg like have completely assimilated Earth? Like First Contact did they travel back to another did they negate that because they were in the middle of it, or did they just travel from one dimension back to the other dimension? Like
Hmm.
every time we've had time travel now, it's interesting
I think
because
the
I feel
main
like this
thing
kind
is,
of breaks that this fixes some canon, but I feel like at the same time it breaks other canon.
yeah, I think it can do, but the main things that we can look at is the fact that I don't think that they've traveled into another dimension, from the actual main timeline, from the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, etc., etc. Because when you look at certain key points, the first one is that you had the guy in the uniform that was wearing the Next Generation one, like probably like season one or when Geordi becomes an engineer. Then you obviously have they mention Picard, and then they show the stuff with Spock. So I think that they've just basically gone into the future for the main timeline, but there could be other ones. So, say for example, if they wanted to put Prodigy into another one, then that could be something where Janeway doesn't comes back straight away, or she never left. And let's say it was the girl who played the original Janeway. She could have been that character, that captain, that French woman. Etc., etc. And then you've got little kind of different things. But you also had on that newspaper that I noticed that Worf was mentioned on that one. So I don't know unless either it's the same timeline, but say slightly very different. Like there's a TV show that in the UK that we had called Humans, which basically had like cybernetic people that were manufactured, but
Yeah,
then that was the same timeline. It's the same universe but slightly different. So everything still happened in what's happened in the world, but we've got that extra thing. So it runs parallel, like looking in a mirror in a way. Um, so that could be a thing. Uh, I think that if they played, say, Spock from the new films, then I think we could have said, "Oh, so this is the Kelvin timeline," and then taken it from that era and gone, so that's cool. We've got that because younger Spock, looks nothing like Leonard Nimoy, obviously, but like no kind of characteristics. So he would look more to me like Zachary Quinto.
yeah.
But I think if you learn looking at different ones, it's a very cheap way of saying, "Hey, let's get out of there." Throwaway lines where if they go like, "Oh, well, we didn't have like the Type 5 Dolphin phaser, but different timeline didn't happen. Cisco's still on that station," that sort of thing, where the Bajoran wormhole wasn't there, where they didn't find certain things. So I think it's finding more information. But for what I can tell, I reckon it's still in the normal line, but it's also kind of like, oh yeah, it's just in the normal timeline.
Right, yeah, it's just I don't know, it's weird to me because I don't know. It just it does open up a whole lot of different possibilities, but at the same time, it's just I don't know. I guess it is what it is.
Mm.
But now it brings in that like Back to the Future type time travel thing, but then at the same time, it's like okay, are they actually in? Is it more like the Rick and Morty thing where they're actually in another dimension that's just extremely similar to the one that they came
Mm.
from, but their other dimension is actually still there, off doing its own thing. Like I don't know. It like trying to reconcile all of that gives me a headache. It's like Looper. It's just like I'm just gonna go with it. So okay, so now I've got some of the images stills from the episode popping up here at the bottom. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pause this or not when I need to, but let's go forward a little bit. So now we also have on this planet Dannus 4 or 5, Dannus 5, uh, this guy Carl, who we can see at the bottom of the screen.
Mm.
Now, while I'm saying this, it's probably a little bit delayed on your end because you're watching the YouTube feed. But yeah, did you watch Stargate at all? Like the
Oh,
TV
hells
series?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, hells
So
yeah.
we were talking about this in the chat a little bit. Did Carl remind you of the personification of Anubis in the diner in the like that the not the afterlife, but in the ancient ascended area when Daniel was talking to him.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. It didn't kind of pop into my head because the first thing that I noticed was it was more about I thought it was Q. So that's the sort of thing it gave off. But when now thinking about it, yeah, it kind of like to the point where they've gone like, oh, we need help. And it's like, whoa, I'm going to help you. But it's actually like it's the main bad for the entire season.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, I don't know why this picture is popping up here, but now everyone's looking at the original cast from Fantastic Four, the 1992 Roger Corman movie. Somehow made its way into this folder. Let me get rid of that. That does not need to come back around again. I don't know why that was there. Uh, but yeah, so Eric and everyone else, and I mean, like this is the thing that I kind of put together too, is that it kind of feels like a Guardian of Forever type thing too,
Mm,
because like we know that was a doorway. In the original episode in the original series, the Guardian was sentient, but there was only one of them. In the original script that Harlan Ellison wrote, which was later adapted into a graphic novel that you can pick up from IDW, um, it was the Guardians of Forever, and it was a group of sentient beings. So if that's the direction that they're going, he could be one of the Guardians,
yeah.
but I don't know. I tried researching the planet that the Guardian Forever was located on, but it's actually never been named. It's not it's not this planet here that we're on. We know that because the planet they found was either in the Alpha Quadrant or somewhere near the edge of the Alpha Quadrant or the Beta Quadrant. Whereas this one is on the edge of the Gamma Quadrant, but we don't know if it's on. They said that it was almost to the Gamma Quadrant, so it's kind of far out there. So we know it's not the same planet.
Yeah, because when I was looking, like when he goes like, "Oh, it's in the gamma quadrant," I was like, "Oh, ho, ho, that's quite far out." I was like, "That's really kind of interesting." So to me that was something different that they put in. I was like, I'm liking that because it reminded me very much of like Deep Space Nine. So
Yeah,
not unless, sorry, go
so,
on.
sorry. No, I was just gonna say that's there are a lot of different possibilities for who this could be. It could be a Q. It could be one of the other many like immortal races that have like crazy powers out there, like Trelane. Like
Mm,
there's theories that Trelane was a Q, but that's never actually been um, set up.
yeah.
Then there was whatever it was that happened to Garth of Izar that turned him into like sort of like a godlike being. Um, there's the Iconians. We think that they died out, but maybe they actually didn't die out.
Mm,
There's the travelers race. There's the aliens that brought Barkley out to wherever it was that they brought Barkley out to in the nth degree. There's so many possibilities out there that I think the Guardian is definitely a possibility. But there were so many references on that newspaper to different things.
yeah, I'm trying to find the actual thing because someone I I don't see it in the chat with Eric. That because I know that someone's broken it down, but I've not seen the massive detail for it. So the only thing I'm like looking at is like you think it'd be everywhere online, like
Right.
literally. Oh God, don't go. We've got it covered. We've got. Oh no, it's not. Um, so it's literally just trying to find the actual.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the link that Eric sent us, the Trek Core breakdown. And here, like they note, like we did, that the newspaper is reminiscent of the Q Continuum's the new magazine that they had in the Death Wish
Hmm,
episode of Voyager, and also they note here the Ascended Times from Stargate SG-1, which was read by Daniel Jackson while visiting the ancient ascended plane. The breakdowns that they have here, it's called the Star Dispatch. Their tagline is "Delivering Tomorrow's News Today." It's the Universal Edition. It costs 15 quatlus. Uh, in the article about Emperor Georgiou dying a horrible, painful death, it states that her cells are pulled apart. That's some of the text that we can pull out. The starship USS Jenolan is reported to be missing. I recognize the name, but I can't place where that's actually from. That's one of the things that I didn't um, have time to pull up before we hopped on here. And supernova threatens Takan Empire, billions perish. I recognize the I remember like the talk about the Takan Empire, but I don't remember where that was actually from.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the USS.
On the back page, there's a reference to Good Soup, which is some of the stuff from Edith Keeler. Let Me Help, the 21st Street Mission. That's also more Edith Keeler stuff. Above the crossword puzzle is Bajoran Script, which is right underneath the 21st Street Mission. There's an article about Worf winning a Batleth competition. And there is a section with a couple of diagrams on it over in the lower left on the back page with Vulcan script. And I don't see where that's been translated at all, because I don't know if it can be, because it's just such a rough picture.
Yeah. Well, so I can turn around and say say the Batleth competition is the one where Worf, basically that's the episode where the loads of Enterprises kind of turn up.
Yeah.
And then Worf cracks multiple things, which is the only best Worf episode ever made in the history of Star Trek. I goddamn hate Worf at times. But there's that one. But the USS Georgiou was actually the one that Scotty was on.
Right. Relics, right?
Yeah. Which I watched that one the other day, actually. It's one of my favorite episodes. So it was the USS Geonolin, I can't even say it. The one that crashed on the Dyson Sphere, had Scotty in the transporter buffer for 75 years. So we can see, I think that obviously they're talking. It's not about tomorrow, because all those things happen in different time frames.
Right. What about the Takan Empire?
The Takan Empire.
T''KON Empire. All right. So the Takan Empire was a massive empire that existed over 600,000 years ago. That had a population of trillions and was highly advanced technologically. They had the ability to move entire stars, using planets as outposts for defense, employed guardians known as portals to defend these outposts and act as gatekeepers for those seeking entry to the Empire. Let's see. At least one of these their guardians, Portal 63, survived and was encountered by the Federation Starship Enterprise D on a planet in the Delphi Ardu system in 2364. This occasion, I remember this one. It was the last outpost was the episode that happened in. I vaguely remember this guy because the Ferengi were trying to convince the Guardian that he should give them his secrets. And Picard was Picard just kind of let it play out a little bit.
Was it? Okay, I don't remember that one, because that one just reminds me of the one they had the girl, and that's when the Ferengi were talking to Picard, and in the end she fell in love with Picard.
No, that was a different one. This one, they're on a planet. The Guardian is like an old guy with a staff, and there was the portal later on towards the end. Riker refused to attack the Ferengi because that was one of the things the portal asked, and the portal was like, "Okay, you guys win. You guys win. You're worthy. They're not."
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I kind of see. Yeah, I kind of remember. It's been a very long time since I've seen that one.
So there's, I guess, the possibility that Carl could be another Guardian. Because they were sentient, and they had personalities, and they clearly had a lot of power. So if this guardian, over the course of the past, however many hundreds of thousands of years, developed this kind of personality, maybe he's using his abilities to for whatever purposes he was able to figure out. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's so much that this could be. I know like everyone is clinging on to this. He's a guardian. I think that's a likely scenario, but I don't know if it's the only possibility.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like there's a ton of stuff where we've seen beings like this all the time. If it is a guardian, but I kind of think it's maybe I hate bringing it back to like travelers, because most of the stuff that we've seen on this newspaper is next generation. Like, there's nothing that reminds the TOS. Like, the only thing you could really point it out would be the fact of the gate, and you got the doorway, which obviously is in this picture that we're seeing. But it feels like all of this has happened. Like, this is all like next generation, like Easter eggs and stuff like that. So, but then we've also seen the Traveler take on different forms. Where the one where he takes Wesley, at the very end, when Wesley actually mans up and becomes like an actual decent person, and he like the Traveler's like dressed as someone else, and he's like, "Well, Wesley, it's well done that you've matured, so now I can take you away." Like, it would kind of remind me of that a tiny bit. Um, but then the Traveler didn't really have that many kind of like, he had to touch keyboards. That's all he had
Right,
to do.
right. Yeah, he didn't like he had the ability to make an illusion around himself, but not necessarily to create like entire pocket dimensions or
Mm,
whatever is through this door. Because that's the other question is where did Georgiou go? Did she go back in time and across to the mirror dimension? Is
mm,
is this the episode a few episodes ago on Trill, where this is like all in her head, um and because both Adira and Burnham disappeared in the water. Like, we don't know where any of that stuff was happening.
mm,
uh this is one of those things where I really like that they brought this interesting character out, because this was a very Star Trek episode. Like, this, just because it's like, hey, here's this being that we have no idea who he is or what he's capable of or where he came from or how he's here. He's a very Q like character,
mm.
but not Q like at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, if you went down the road of Q, it could be one of those, the like one of the Qs that, like, you had them a while. Like, you had the female Q, and then you had the Q that wanted to was stuck in an asteroid. So
There
now
was
they're,
Corbin Burnson Q.
yeah, was
Yeah,
there a Q?
there were a lot of them, but then we also had in Voyager we had the Continuum Civil War. Like, we don't
Yeah.
know what happened with the Continuum after the Civil War. I'm actually that's a period of time in the Continuum that I'm really interested in, is what happened after that. Maybe after that they became more like, because honestly, this guy reminds me of one of the ancients
Mm.
from
Stargate.
Stargate. Like I was saying before, because like we've seen in Stargate numerous times where, oh well, the agents aren't supposed to interfere in the daily life of non-ascended beings. The
Mm.
Q aren't supposed to intervene really in the matters of mortals. But sometimes they do, and sometimes they do it to help people out. Like, there was the one ancient that had banished herself to that planet to protect it from the Wraith in Stargate Atlantis. There was obviously Q in Star Trek always meddles in the affairs of humans to try and push them further to be the best that they can be, even though he's kind of a dick about it.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
How about
I like that I don't know.
how about throwing this curveball of a theory? All right, you ready? What happens if it's Discovery?
Huh.
Because they turn around and the guy at the very beginning was just like, "There's no cure, no cure." I was going to say no known cure. There is nothing that we've been looking for over years. But then all of a sudden, Discovery is like, "Hey, I found something. It's on this remote planet over here." So what happens if it's the consciousness of Discovery on the planet for a very brief time? So when she walked through, either it turns into a small holodeck or beamed her into something that could like mess with her head.
It's a TARDIS.
Yeah, it's a TARDIS.
That's actually the size of a door frame, and inside is a holodeck.
Exactly.
I don't know, because like so here's the other things. We know that going through the doorway stabilized her condition.
Mm.
So based off of what we were told by Kovich, the only way to stabilize her position would be for her to go back to the mirror galaxy, or the mirror dimension, or mirror universe, whatever.
Mm.
So whatever is on the other side of this doorway is able to completely mimic the mirror dimension itself. It's also able to build this incredibly realistic representation of what the mirror universe was, and change the events that happen there based off of what Georgiou's actions are. So, so it could be like a lucid dream of some kind, where she's in some sort of like suspended animation. But I don't know.
It could be one of those things. As soon as she walked through the door, like she fainted, and then as soon as she like opened her eyes, boom! Like it's in the blink of a like, straight away. Like say it was like a holodeck or something. And it's reenacting, but using her memories. So you could see in the next episode where, I mean, I haven't seen the preview, so but like she could turn around and go like, "Oh hey, like this isn't weird." So like your memories can only go so far, but because now she's changed that thing, either her mind's got to kind of make up for filling in the blanks, or it's going to cause her to go like about what the hell's going on.
So I just thought of something. I need to look this up now, because we were talking about how a lot of these things were TNG related. What was the episode of the Next Generation where they landed on the planet and were stuck in the casino?
Uh, that one I don't. Right. Don't
It was
find it.
called the Royale. It was episode 12 of season 2. Um, Let me see if I can find this on Memory Alpha instead of Wikipedia, because that's going to have a little bit better links here. So the Enterprise investigates the wreckage of a 21st century Earth spaceship ordering a distant planet and the appearance of a casino with inhabitants based on a rather poorly written paperback novel. Um, okay, do we know where this planet was?
Where are we?
Theta 116. It's the orbit of the eighth planet of a previously unmapped solar system. So this is not anywhere near where they are in Discovery here. Um, how did this? We don't know how this recreation of the hotel existed, right?
I don't think they mention it, but it did have like I remember having a strange power that if you stayed in it for too long, you died. Um,
Well, because there was nothing for them to eat, right?
yeah, and they bed. It just says here under the covers of the bed, Riker finds a skeleton. Data reports that it is a body of a human male. Riker speculates that he died in his sleep. A horrible way to die by Worf standards. Worf doesn't give a crap. Data exaggerates that the man died 283 years ago. Oh, okay, yes, it was just a random
Oh,
like
this is,
death. And
Mr. Gorpley from Perfect Strangers was in this too. He was the guy who ran the casino.
does look like he was in Half-Life.
Huh. This is interesting because it was just a revolving door that was on the planet.
Yeah, like what a weird thing. I mean, I remember it being like just basically the back lot of of the Paramount Studios. But yeah, like just having a random door there leading into the casino.
Right.
So either maybe like she walked through, and rather than passing out or something, like it just extrapolated stuff from her memory, and was just like, we're building this now. But then again, it will, because she kills Michael, doesn't she, in her world?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see. So it's just, I love it when Star Trek does this. It's like the best thing in the entire world.
Yeah. This is okay. No, so they were able to because that dude the dude that they found that had died was able to survive there for 38 years.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so interesting. So in the the novel is being played out around them. He also reports that they have found a diary with only one entry, which he reads aloud. The colonel had written that he was the sole survivor of an alien contaminant that had killed all of the others on the ship. He then found himself in the Hotel Royale, exactly as described in the novel he found in his room. He managed to survive there for 38 years, learning that the aliens created the hotel for him out of guilt, using the novel on the shuttle as the guide. Unknown to the aliens, their recreation of the cliched and shallow characters of the book only served as a help for the colonel. He welcomed death as it would release him from it.
Nice. Thanks, aliens. Thanks. um, I'm looking back at this paper thing now, and like no one's kind of figured out what the hexagons are,
Right.
and I feel like that's something.
Yeah, I feel like that has to be something, and the Vulcan script needs to be is has to be something too.
Mm.
What I have no idea. Um, the in the Trek Core article it says that it could be references to the hexagon shaped ships which make up a Suliban helix, which
Mm.
is where key events occurred throughout the Temporal Cold War. But both the header and questions appear to be printed in Bajoran script. Perhaps the Vulcan script at the bottom says that the Vulcan Science Directorate has determined that time travel is impossible. This just says perhaps. It doesn't actually say that that's what it says.
Mm. I, I literally thought for a second it looked like Q's force field, but it doesn't.
Oh, like that
Um,
the grid in
yeah.
space thing. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I don't know. Like to me, this is the most interesting part of this episode. Like all the stuff that actually happens once Georgiou kind of crosses over, I didn't really care about.
yeah. It just felt like, oh, now looking part. Now I don't know, because it's been a while since I've seen season one. Now I don't know if you saw all of this sort of stuff where Georgiou goes around and like it's she's hung out with Michael, or if it was just like, here's the mirror world,
Well, no, this is
Michael's already dead.
yeah. Well, this is the first time we're seeing the mirror universe version of Michael. This takes place just a few days before the Discovery crossed over.
Oh, okay. How
Or
how
no,
cool would it?
sorry, not a few days. 9 months. It's like
No,
9 months before that.
how cool would it be? And this is just again throwing it out there, that basically Michael in the next episode gets really like angry, and then Carl goes like, "You're not allowed to go through." She goes through, and Mirrorverse Michael comes out.
That would be interesting. Or she'd end up in her own version of whatever that is, because we don't know whether that was made specifically for Georgiou
Mm.
before they arrived, because this being knew that Georgiou was like being that knew that they were coming, so made this thing specifically for her, or whether going through the door creates this same type of thing on an individual basis for whoever goes through.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I just want evil Michael to come out. That's all I want. I always find Mirrorverse
For Prime
characters like
Lorca,
yeah,
I
like
I was a little disappointed that we didn't get Jason Isaacs back,
mm,
at least for this one episode, because they did do a really good job of hiding the fact that they were going over to the mirror universe again.
yeah.
I don't remember seeing that leaked anywhere.
It was probably one of those things where they're like, if you goddamn tell us, you're fired.
We will end you.
Yeah, your career is over.
So I mean, what was there anything in the mirror universe part that really stood out to you that you feel you want to discuss? Because it kind of feels like it's the same thing we've been saying. Georgiou has obviously been changed by her time spent in the Prime universe, and she's finding it uncomfortable now to exist in the mirror universe with people who acted the way she used to.
Mm,
Because even though she pretends to still be like them, it's obvious that she isn't like them anymore.
yeah, I think it's more of a like she was really mean and nasty and horrible in the first time that you see her, but then now it's more like yeah, she's just it's uncomfortable. Like she's left home, and she's come back. She's like, oh, I kind of don't really want to be here anymore. Oh,
Yeah,
I have to put up.
because like watching Georgiou now in the Prime universe and watching the way she interacts with people, it almost feels as though she says the thing she says because she knows that's what she's supposed to be saying and how she's
Mm,
supposed to be acting as a Terran, but not necessarily that she still believes that she should be acting that way.
yeah, it's like she now has to. I think has to relearn it because in the perspective of all the other characters, she's this badass person, and now like she's like holding back. So I think that if this is a time travel thing and it's now changing the reality, you're going to see the fact that she does die. But I don't think it's from anything. I think it's from probably Tilly or Michael taking like a step forward to actually killing her. Because you kind of see that going on. Obviously, Michael's like, I just want to betray you, and Tilly's more like, oh, should I really do this?
Yeah, I have a feeling that I'm going to be disappointed with the way this actually resolves itself, because I think the way it's going to resolve itself is Georgiou being like, I don't actually belong in the Terran universe. I belong in the Prime universe with all these other people, and magically she's going to become a regular human and not a Terran.
mm,
Like I think she's going like I think this doorway is sort of like the crystal chamber in Superman 2 that removes his powers, but
mm,
instead of removing her powers, it's altering her DNA to make her become of the Prime universe instead of the Terran universe. That's
yeah.
my prediction for how this is going to end up, is that she's coming to the realization that she doesn't belong there anymore, and so her DNA is going to change so that she actually belongs where she is.
Mm. One one really bad way to end it, although really funny at the same time, is the point where Georgiou does something. She's about to kill someone, and then you just hear like, and it's Data just going, "Oh, fascinating," and just walks out the door, and it's all a holodeck simulation.
Be so no, I don't like it. So let's I guess since we don't really have that much to discuss about the actual stuff that happened inside of this doorway, let's talk about the distress call and the burn, because that
Yeah.
I felt like that was more interesting than what we were getting here, because I was more interested in Carl and who he was and what he was and actually what happened after what went through.
Mm.
Like I I don't know that this needed to be a two-parter. I guess we'll find out next week when we see how it ends.
Yeah, I think that obviously because they need to extend it, but if they had to do it quite quickly, then you'd have to probably start the episode off on as they're walking and do kind of like small flashbacks and then explaining the reason why they're there. Um, and then obviously that's how they kind of do it because I think if you speed it up too quickly, people will be like, "Well, this definitely could have been a two-parter."
Yeah,
Um,
like I understand why it's two-parter based on the story itself, but I feel like if instead of focusing on the burn data or the burn in this episode, if they just spent the entire thing on this planet, they probably could have gone through the entire thing in just the one episode.
yeah. I think like I want in a way I want them to get the burn stuff over with, but yet then I don't because obviously that's stretching it out and kind of
Yeah,
doing it.
yeah, it's just I don't know because like this whole thing started off on a thing for me where I was like, okay, why is this scene happening? When Burnham and Saru are talking with Vance about wanting to bring Georgiou to that planet, like that. I understand the purpose of the scene. The purpose of the scene was to be like, look, Saru is still kind of shaky with the decisions that he's making, um, and I'm approving this mission because it's going to do good for the morale of the people on the ship, and we can handle the stuff with the chain ourselves. Like it just that scene felt superfluous to me. Like it just I don't know. I felt like it wasn't necessarily needed.
Mm. Like I think it would be really nice if they'd done like a captain's log, star date, blah blah blah. We're now in the Gamma Quadrant trying to find the cure for thingy. Like I've not seen that sort of thing where they've just seemed to get rid of it. So not unless I'm completely blanking it from every single episode, but I'm just kind of recapping.
Yeah,
Like,
no, we've had like personal logs
mm,
from like Burnham before, but we haven't actually had like the proper TNG opening with Saru doing Captain's Log.
mm,
In the sphere data, like setting up the expositions, digging through the sphere data, we found a possible cure for Emperor Georgiou's condition, and we are now in orbit around Dannus V. Burnham and Georgiou have beamed down to the surface to see what they could find. Like that would have set all of that up.
yeah, straight away. And I think that because if because this episode obviously was so heavily like next generation theme type thing that you could have those sorts of things and it would have been a kind of a nice throwback even if they never did it again. I would just love it if they went, yeah, this is here because it sets everything up and you don't need to have to see the admiral talk about like, oh, go for morale and save time. Like what happens if all the people on the on Discovery actually hate Georgiou, like literally can't stand her, and they're going like,
Like
oh
I was
god, we're
like,
going for
oh,
it.
we saved her, great.
Yeah, my morale is 100%. Yay! Personal log. I hate her.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still it's. I guess we'll see how it ends up. But yeah, like because we'll see. Anyway, back to the burn stuff. So we learned that there is a ship there. It's a Kelpian vessel. The Kelpian that we see that left the distress call. She's actually the same actress that played Saru's sister in
Okay.
the episode that we saw on Kaminar. So I'm also really curious whether we're going to find out that she is a distant relative of Saru. If we're just going to go with the no, it's one of those Star Trek things where it's the same actress playing someone else. Like the actress who played Arium in the first season is now the other bridge officer
Mm,
now because they wanted to kill off Arium or whatever it was had happened. So I don't know. I think it would be interesting to tie that together to make it Saru's a relative of Saru's to explain why that character looks a lot like his sister. It would just make
yeah.
sense, and it would be easier. It would be easier than just like leaving it as a thing. Um, but we don't know why they were there. They were investigating something. Um, let me actually double check to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Um, where are we? Scroll up. Going through this episode. Okay, so the Lost Federation ship was in the Verubin Nebula. Um, some fans and a lot of people were speculating that was another version of Discovery. Because like I still think that Discovery had something to do with it, not purposely, but that somehow Discovery traveling through time caused the problem. So there were a lot of people theorizing that Discovery was stuck there, and that was another version of Discovery, that there was like a weird temporal thing that caused there to be two versions of Discovery, like transporter accident or whatever, and that's what caused the problem. Because we know that they had that turbulence before they had come through, so they hit something, so something happened. Um, let's see here. Yeah, that was really all we got. Was just finding out that there was a Kelpian ship at the middle of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you also had one thing we've not talked about is the aliens that apparently that they had to put these accords up, try and find it on this site. Um, you think they'd mention it properly, or am I just skim reading it?
Which aliens?
So at the very beginning, when they've got the hologram of Georgiou, and then
Right.
all of a sudden they turn around and say like, "Oh, who's this race?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't know." And it's like, "Whoa, you're so glad you didn't bump into these bad boys." And they start talking about the time thing.
I don't know if I remember that.
They briefly talk about it because apparently there's a huge, massive like war like that
What was that?
stems over.
Was that with Kovich?
I think so. Yeah, the guy that I think that looks like the guy from.
The dude with glasses.
Yeah.
So that is David Cronenberg.
Oh, was it David Cronenberg?
Yeah. Uh, but his name of the show is Kovich. But yeah, that's the guy behind such films as like Scanners, the
Mm.
and Videodrome. Are you talking about Yours species?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because
They did.
Yor was the guy that came over from the Kelvin episode, or
Oh yeah,
from the
yeah.
Kelvin dimension. Um, do they? I don't think they said what race he was.
Look, star.
I mean, from that early conversation, we found out that Yor traveled from 2379, from the Kelvin universe to the Prime universe, and that it was both through dimensions and time, and that he was in enough pain that they had to um, petition the Federation to allow him to be put out of his misery, because he was in so much pain.
Yeah.
They wouldn't send him back to the universe without breaking the interdimensional displacement restriction, which is an ironclad part of the temporal accords.
Yeah, that's one.
Um, I did find it interesting though that Kovich made it a point to be like, that's ironclad, as if like a wink wink nod nod to say, maybe there's ways around it.
Mm. It's like, guys, we're gonna break this theory. It's like the whole thing with Doctor Who when he goes like, you can't go back to a certain point in time to interact with yourself, and then they destroy that constantly,
Let's
just for the
see.
shits and giggles.
Yor was a Beetlejuicean. So he was from the
Yeah.
Betelgeuse Nebula or galaxy or whatever. Uh, they were associated with the United Federation of Planets, and members were serving Starfleet. Um, we've seen them before. Oh, we've seen them here. There was a Cosmo, one of the guys in the first episode that was going after Book. He
Mm.
was a Beetlejuicean. Um, and other than that, There was one on the Enterprise in Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Was that? Yeah.
But that's really about it for them.
He was He was also an Enterprise. The race, but we've seen him before. An Enterprise science officer. 20. Yeah, USS Enterprise in mid 2270 during the Vagar incident. Oh yeah, it's the one you just said. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, there's another one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
I don't know. Like I feel like this. I feel like there was a lot that happened in this episode, but at the same time, there wasn't a lot that happened in this episode.
yeah, I would agree. Like, I think they obviously wanted to focus on Georgiou quite a lot, and that was the main thing that it's going to see how it works its way through. But then I think the more information that we got was from all the little things, obviously through Carl, or the stuff on the newspaper. So you're kind of more focused on these sorts of little things, and you're like, oh my god, that's so cool, because I didn't really look at the newspaper originally, and then when I saw it all, I was like, oh my god, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those episodes. I'm gonna have to watch it again before watching next week's episode, just to make sure that there's nothing that happened here that I missed that they're going to like. Actually, I don't know whether I should watch this episode before watching next week's episode or watch next week's episode and then rewatch this to pick up
It
some of
might
those
make more
things.
sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I think that's really all I have for this episode. I liked it, but I felt like the way it was presented was a little bit messy, I guess.
Yeah, it's like maybe they can't have too many Easter eggs anymore, so they thought, bung it all in this one.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was the Easter eggs for me, more that it was just I found myself not caring about what was happening in the mirror dimension, in the mirror universe once they got there. It was just okay. I know what they're going for, so let's get on with it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say this is. I'd say maybe this is half a filler episode.
Yeah,
Like
like
it's more.
I feel like we're going to get a lot that happens in next week's episode.
Mm,
Like it feels like it's going to be very back heavy,
yeah.
but I don't know. Let's jump into ratings here. 'Cause I don't know what else to talk about now. So what is your rating for this episode here?
um, 3 and two hollow emitters.
All right, we're gonna average that out to three and a half badges. Um, let's see. I'm in the wrong format for this. Let's see here. Yeah, it'll pop up.
Oh, I have to save that one for next week.
I'm I'm gonna say the same. Um,
Mm,
for yeah, I'm gonna give it three and a half. I felt like it set up a lot with Carl, but I feel like it didn't do like it just once we got into the other side of that doorway, it just kind of fell apart for me a little bit. I wanted to know more about what was going on with the burn data, what was going on with the Kelpian
mm,
ship. I wish there had been more flash, like if they had flashback more to what was happening on Discovery while Georgiou was in the mirror dimension, and then just gone back and forth. I don't think that would have been confusing because we would have known, oh, we're in the mirror dimension now, we're following Georgiou. Oh, we're on Discovery now with Saru, we're following the burn data storyline. I think maybe they could have done a better job of going back and forth.
yeah. Like, what would you do if, like, say, next week, Carl was not in it and you never saw him again? It was just that one episode,
I would be
and
very
that's it.
unhappy. Like he has to be the one to resolve this. and I I won't say that we have to find out who he is or what he is, but it would be nice to have more um more of a definitive, yeah, okay, he's a guardian.
Mm.
But I don't I don't know.
That's, and they never saw him ever again.
Or they get back and it's just someone completely different. Like now it's John Delancey. And he's like, haha.
uh, well, I said, Carl, what have you been here? He's like, 1 second. Throws off his thing. It's Danny DeVito just sitting there. And he's like, what?
Oh, Silver Tiger is here, and he says that he wishes they made dioramas from the show. I I would agree with that. I would love to have like a little model of like the Discovery Bridge.
That'd be quite cool. I know like they did over here in the UK. They did the Star Trek little models. They had the ships, every single ship from Star Trek, and I picked up I think 4 or 5, which was Prometheus, Defiant, Enterprise D, and Voyager. Didn't realize they did loads of other ships at the time. I was like, damn, I really wish I got that.
I so did I send you guys? Did I show you guys that model kit that I found?
Which one?
So there's a company that's making a model of the Enterprise D, but it's a model kit. You pay a subscription fee for it, and you get
Mm,
4 kits a month, and over 120 kits. So like 39 months or something like that. You have a
yeah.
full scale, not full scale model, but a
Wow.
like it's I think it said it came out to like a 28-inch model of the Enterprise D,
Mm,
but the cost ends up being almost $2,000 by the time you're done.
yeah.
I'm like, as cool as this thing is, and as much as I would want to buy like a model like that, I can't justify spending that $2,000 on that. Like, there's a Sideshow has a $2,000 Enterprise D replica too. It's already put
Mm,
together. Like, I get it's the novelty of having a model, but it comes on an LCARS replica base, and
mm. Ooh.
it lights up. Like, it has LED lights all throughout it, and it makes noises, and it's insane. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I wanna post a link here for Silver King to see. I want you to see this thing too. Enterprise. Okay, so here is the. This is also a link from Trekcore, but this is from Chronicle Collectibles. I'm gonna put this here in the chat. Uh, so there's the link. This one is the full scale model with the Elcar space that you can buy through Sideshow. It is the details and everything on this thing is insane.
It's
Um,
beautiful.
and then let me see if I can find the model.
Oh, that is. Do you know what would be that would the icing on the cake? Like literally, it. If say for example, you pushed a button or like on the panel, and it made the sounds of the warp engine,
Oh
just the
yeah,
humming of it. Oh, I'd be like, just throw my money at the screen. Oh, it looks
and
beautiful.
here's the model kit. This is from Eagle Moss.
Oh, please don't be shit. Please don't be bad.
Silver Tiger. He says that when all is said and done, the Lightning collection of the Power Rangers figures will end up being over $4,000. But you have multiple
Yep.
figures. Like you've got a whole. This is just the Enterprise.
Where's the picture? I want to see the model.
So the model kit, it's you get the first two model kits for free, just for $4.95 shipping and handling, and it looks like a couple of like badges, um, and it's I don't know, um, it's like $13.95 per kit, and they send you 4 kits a month. like almost $60 a month that you're spending on this thing.
Do you know the worst thing in the world is, and they used to do it over here, is that you'd get halfway in,
And then they stop.
and then yeah, and that is it. And you're like, you've got half an enterprise, and you're like, oh,
I that when I was a kid, I started getting this magazine called Dinosaurs, and it would come with models of like pieces to build a like a replica of a T-Rex or a Tyrannosaurus, or some other type of thing, and so like it would be like putting the bones together, like if you were like working the Smithsonian or something and actually getting the fossils. So you would get different pieces of the fossils. So like you would get pieces of the rib cage. But then the books stopped coming out, so I never had a complete dinosaur.
oh, grim.
But I don't know. Yeah, both of these models are nice, but for 2000, if I was going to spend $2,000, I'd buy that Chronicle Collectibles one, not this Eagle Moss one. Because the Eagle Moss
Oh
one
yeah.
looks nice, but that Chronicle one is just amazing.
Mm. Like the different looks, though, like just the detail alone looks a lot nicer. And as much as like, can you imagine like you buying the magazine one and then snapping something by accident and then going, oh,
Right?
yeah, I,
Yeah.
I hate that.
I don't know. It's just like I get what they're doing with it, but I also I understand the size that
Mm.
it's huge. I just can't I couldn't justify spending that kind of money on that one when this other one exists. So
Oh yeah.
one thousandth scale.
See, I really kind of wish they brought back model kits because, like, when I was younger, when Star Trek first came out, you could buy model kits of everything, and then and they were the best ones out there. And now, like, there's hardly anything for building these sorts of stuff, and you kind of think with Discovery coming out that you would put more money in saying, "Hey, here's a model kit from TOS, or here's this model kit from here."
Yeah,
Now this,
let me see if I can find it here. I've got the box is demolished, but I've got this original Enterprise model,
mm,
and it's the USS Enterprise, a Klingon battle cruiser, and a Romulan bird of prey. This thing is old. This thing is from uh, when when did this thing come out? Someone gave this to me as a gift recently. 1976
yeah,
is how old this thing is. I want to put it together, but I just haven't found the time yet. I have a 2 week hiatus coming up. I have the week of Christmas off and the week of New Year's off. Um, so maybe I'll actually sit down and build that model. Uh, but it's one of those things where I just have to get the
you have
time
to find
together.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a really nice Voyager one that I'm trying to find right now. Um, and it's something like it goes for silly money on eBay at the moment. Like you're looking at maybe $1,000 or something like that. But it's like, you know how you have like Fig Arts and then you have like something higher than Fig Arts, like Hot Toys, and it's just absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Um,
Man, if
and
Hot Toys
someone,
put out Star Trek stuff, I'd
we'd
be
all be
broke.
bankrupt. Yeah. Like there's only a few ships that I would actually really want, and one of them is just like oh, was it runabout? Just want to run about.
I would, I would buy the Discovery. I would buy Book Ship. If they had a model of like Book Ship, I would probably buy that because that one's pretty cool. Um, what else would I get? Oh, I would the the ship from Star Trek Four. The thing that wanted to talk to the whales,
Oh no, get that in the bin.
or the Planet Killer.
Okay, that one I kind of.
I do also really want to get a Guardian of Forever model. Like
Mm.
I would love to build a Guardian Forever model with a 3D, not a 3D, but like an LCD screen inside of it
Yeah.
that was programmable, so that I could put like photos or video clips in it and have it like actually look like it was blinking through time.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. That's awesome. Oh wow. I've just put in the chat to one of the model that I found, and I've never seen a Voyager that has landing struts. But
Oh
it's
yeah,
like I think it's a Japanese version of Voyager or something like that, and just the lighting system that they've put in, and it is it's so beautiful.
so Silver Tiger wants to know if I like the shuttle for the Enterprise D. I think it's cool. It's a little boxy. Maybe like a Volvo.
We all knew it was the Type 2, no, Type 3 shuttles
Wait.
that they
Silver
put in
Tiger.
Voyager.
Like you can build me a Guardian of Forever replica that has an LCD screen in it. We'll have to talk. Because that would really be dope. Um, I do. I have a little bit of disposable income right now. I've been looking at getting a 3D printer, which would allow me to make some of this kind of stuff myself, as long as I could find someone that could actually make the 3D models for it for me to build. I don't know that I have a place to actually put a 3D printer right now, because they're actually kind of affordable. Like you can get them now for like under $500.
Mm. I think it's because back then, like when they first came out, they were really hard to kind of get.
Yeah,
Um, so it was more kind of like a thing. But now, like loads of people, like one of my friends, he makes Ranger helmets, but he just buys like the 3D files from someone, and they look spot on. So he just prints them off at his home. He finishes them all off, and then just sells them on. So like one helmet like would have taken him say I don't know like a month to sculpt or like a couple of weeks. He literally just goes to someone and says, "Hey, can you print this for me or can you model this?" And they go, "Yep, $500." Boom, and then he's got the helmet, and then he can print as many as he wants off.
yeah, huh? Interesting. So okay, so Silver Tiger is saying that LCD screens are simple. Um, am I able to make an LCD screen myself? Like, am I able to like cut the LCD so I can make it the shape or the size that I need it to be? Like, how do I do like I want to know how to do that. And then if I cut it, like how am I going to tell the screen where on it I want the picture centered?
Uh-huh.
These are things I need to learn. So I think that would be dope. But yeah, I don't know. This has been fun. I like talking about a lot of this stuff. Like I enjoy being able to talk about tangentially related stuff
Mm.
that isn't necessarily directly about the episode. I do wish we had a few more people here in the chat that we could talk about this stuff with. So for you guys watching, if you want to talk about more stuff like this, like what we're talking about now, in addition to the actual Star Trek episodes, let us know. Invite your friends. Like tell tell people to come and join us, because just like I like having these conversations. I enjoy like all kinds of sci-fi stuff. I like talking about 3D printers and modeling and all that kind of stuff. It's good. Um, Silver Tiger says that he knows what I'm talking about. He's going to actually look for it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. So while we're waiting for him, um, let's talk about like things that we're plugging. What else what have you got coming up this week?
Um, I am pretty much starting a Twitch channel. Well, I have started it, but I actually got off my arse and actually finished setting it all up. It took me hours upon hours to set Streamlabs up last night. Um,
Streamlabs is kind of it's easy once you get the hang of it, but it's rough kind of getting to learn it. Same thing with the stream. So I bought a stream deck, the
mm,
Elgato thing, and that's one of the things that I use to run this. I don't know if you, so I got the big one, the XL. This is what I have set up for the ratings. So like almost every single button on here is full.
mm.
Uh, but you can make folders. This thing, it was well worth the $200 that I spent on it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I want to get more into doing Twitch stuff. My time is just so all over the place now.
Yeah.
I bought Cyberpunk 2077 the other day. We were talking about
Yep.
this before. I've made it through building my character.
Ah.
That's about as far as I got. And like I built my character and I talked to the first character that you're supposed to talk to in the game.
Mm.
That's it. Because I've been waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning to go to work, and then getting home from work at 8 o'clock at night. And then by the time I get home, I'm like,
Can't be bothered with this.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, what do I have to do for tomorrow? Like, it's weird because my the stuff that I do during the day isn't that really that intense, but it's just sitting behind a computer all day is kind of draining. The fact that I'm
Mm.
not doing a whole lot, and then I fucked up yesterday, and that was just like a holy shit moment. Like what? Like how do I fix this? Um,
You're like, God,
because
no.
literally the job that I have on here can shut production down,
Mm.
and
Oh.
because I screwed up, everyone had to wait for me to fix the thing that I screwed up before we could continue. So that was like everyone on the show waiting for me to fix a problem that I created. So I
Mm.
was like, all right, well, this sucks. I'm gonna get fired. I didn't, but it was like one of those moments where I had the showrunner and executive producer standing behind me, like talking with my direct supervisor. It was like, okay, walk me through the process here and help me understand how this got screwed up and why it's taking the amount of time that it's taking for it to be fixed.
Mm.
I was like, all right, let me fix this without like four people standing behind me staring at me.
All at the 2 meter rule. Keep 2 meter distance.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, so this is also the first show that I've worked on set for since the pandemic started. So
Mm.
I have to wear a mask on set all day, which is fine. I don't mind doing it. Like I can breathe fine with the mask on, but they're making us wear the masks that they're providing, which are the N95 masks with the thin elastic strap that goes behind the ears. The masks that I wear normally are they're still good masks, but the straps are a little bit thicker, so they don't put so much pressure on one area of my ear. But so now like my
Mm.
ears just like right here just hurt from the elastic band just like pulling down on it. Like I can't imagine now being a woman and having to deal with that like a bra every day because like I can't that just wouldn't be great. Silver Tiger, I don't know if as a non-moderator if you can share links or not. That might not be allowed. If you can, I don't know how to get around that.
Tweet.
Tweet it at us. You can see our social media underneath here. You can tag us and the Illuminerdi. That'd probably be the easiest way. I missed you asking about the prop. What I was asking about was the Guardian of Forever with an LCD screen inside of it to flash different images because that's what the Guardian of Forever does. Is it's basically a
Ah.
doorway into the past. Let's see. Let me make sure my Twitter is up so I see a notification there. Man, so I don't. Yeah, I don't know. What are you what are you going to be doing on your Twitch? We kind of got away from that
Cyberpunk.
conversation. Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Cyberpunk for a bit. Star Trek Online. Because I have one cool thing that I've set up on my for my lights.
Okay, so
Let me
are
show
you
you.
going to be playing Star Trek Online on the Xbox or on your PC?
I can play both.
But
So if you,
on your Twitch, which one are you going to
it'll
lean
be
towards?
PC.
Okay. I will download it on my PC. I will start a new character on there. Maybe this could be how we do it. So you Twitch on your channel, I'll Twitch on the Illuminerity's channel. There is a website out there that because neither of us are going to have access to co-streaming yet, which
Mm.
allows two channels to stream and for people to watch both of them on Twitch on the same at the same time. But there is a website out there that does it automatically. Like it fills in that niche for people that don't have access to that feature on Twitch yet. So,
Oh, that's cool.
so both of us could be twitching, and people can watch us both through that site. So we both get the views.
Mm.
So
Oh, that'd be cool.
that will help us both out, because that's one thing that Twitch doesn't do well is, if you want to stream with other people on Twitch, either they're going to only have to watch one person, so which means that they only get the view of that one person's shot, unless you have like a bunch of like Skype windows around the main thing, which kind of screws things up. So this kind of solves that problem, and it allows people to Twitch from their own channel, so that everyone gets the benefits instead of just the one person. Because like, could you imagine like Ninja and like Pokimane doing a dual stream? Only like both of them have huge audiences, so they'd both want that attention, and getting the ad revenue and all that kind of stuff from both of those together. Okay, Silver Tiger says that he sent the link. Let me take a look here. Where did you send it? Let me pop over to the Illuminerdi's Twitter account. I'm on mine.
See, one good thing about really cool like lights, when you go red alert, you just go if it's gonna work.
Oh, nice. Jezzer got the nano leaf panels.
Yeah, that's what they are.
Those are like I've been thinking about buying them. But the problem that I have, let me pull up my view of myself here, is I don't have a whole lot of space to put them. Like, I would have to turn the camera to be like facing this wall over here to make it really work well, because the whole thing with the nano leaf panels is that you can make different shapes out of them. So unless you can see them on screen, it's just light.
Yeah. Well, I have these one like the nano lights here, and I have another set over there for to help with daylight and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But also because I was like, well, I need like if you like literally at this time at night, that's literally what like with a bad light. So I was like, you know what, I'll have them there. But they seem to be quite good. But I recommend them. If we could get sponsored by them, that'd be great.
So I'm working on it. Here's the thing, and this goes out. I realize there's only like 5 people watching the stream like right now. One of them is probably you. One of them is me. One of them is Silver Tiger. Shay might be one of the other ones. So I get that we don't have a lot of viewers right now, but eventually it would be great to have them, because again, I like having these conversations. The more people we have in the chat to bounce this to bounce off of gives us better conversations. I just tag us, Silver Tiger. Tag us in a like an actual tweet. Just like make our Twitter handles like the first thing, and just tweet it out to us that way. But yeah, I'm working on getting these sponsorships for us. Like already, on our website, like we're not putting this stuff up on YouTube, but we get some of these medicinal marijuana devices. I'll be getting a couple of new ones soon that we'll be posting on our website. Toink. I don't know if you're familiar with their with their products. They sell a lot of like licensed replicas. Like they have right now, a set of Star Trek: The Next Generation dishes. It's $119. You get four regular sized dinner plates, 4 smaller dinner plates, 4 bowls, and 4 mugs that all have like L card designs on them. And
Are they the replicator ones?
I don't think so. But they're really dope. But they sent me this too. It's a Star Wars Darksaber from the Mandalorian. And then sitting over behind me, I don't think you can see it on the desk over there, I also have a Spider-Man desk lamp, where it's like a street lamp with Spider-Man hanging off it. We're gonna be doing unboxings of those sometime in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, hopefully the whole point of that was hopefully soon, the more we build up our viewership, we'll be able to start getting sponsorships from people and more stuff to do the video gaming stuff. We just brought in a couple of new video game writers for the website, and that's how we're gonna get all of this in. So the more stuff we have, the more stuff we're doing in that arena, the better. The message has been sent. Let's see here. Refreshing my Twitter. I'm still on the Illuminerdi. So I gotta switch back to mine. Go.
Oh, Alex! It's Amazon Kodak dish. God, we haven't heard of Kodak in a long time. They ceased to be in the UK.
Oh wait, Amazon. Look up Kodak digital. Oh, the Kodak digital picture frames. Yeah, I've seen. I know what those are. But I would have to build the Guardian around that frame to make it the right size. Whereas being able to directly edit the not edit the LCD, being able to actually make an LCD screen size wise, I would be able to make the Guardian and then fit the LCD screen into it instead of having to go by the size of the thing that I've got.
That'd be kind of cool.
Weird. There we go. There's the Illuminerdi. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, so we'll try it again. Let us know what other stuff you guys want to talk about. Because anything in that arena, sci-fi technology. Like I really wanted to go to CES this year, but that's obviously not going to happen. I was really disappointed that E3 didn't happen this year, because I was really looking forward to that. You know,
I do love E3.
Just any of that stuff. But anyway, I am starting to get hungry. I need to go get some food. Because since I've been busy this entire week, my grocery stash at home is down to the bare bones. But yeah, so again, tomorrow you can check back with us for the Illuminerdi Wrestling Order at 8 o'clock. We'll be back next Saturday with the Retro Ranger wrap-up, the regular Ranger wrap-up, and Terra Firma Part 2 here on the Riker Maneuver. And I think that's it until we figure out what we're doing with Twitch.
Yep. Good old Twitch.
Where can people find you on Twitch?
LM. It's the same as my name. Over at LM. And I got a really nice cyberpunk kind of skin for it and kind of set it all up.
Nice. And when are you planning on starting your first stream?
I'm hoping it's tomorrow at 7 p.m. UK time.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you really quick. Silver Tiger says to hit him up if we want to do Power Ranger stuff. He does voice acting and sometimes visual effects.
Nice.
I find, like, message me on. I'll follow you on Twitter. Then message me, because we are looking for people that can do like After Effects type stuff. So if you know that would help. Sorry, continue.
After Effects, the bane of my existence.
Mine too. That's what my job during the day is. Like I spend all day now in After Effects, and I'm not an After Effects guy, so it's been rough.
I know what you mean. I hate it, but I love it. Ish. But yeah, 7 p.m. my time, UK time, is hopefully the first time it's going to go up till around about 9 or 10.
Sounds good. And you'll be able to, again, see me here next weekend. I might pop up some other stuff. I was on the previous Ranger show. I was talking about maybe putting together a video of Power Ranger actors who have appeared in Star Trek over time. So, I mean, there's a bunch of them. Like Scorpina was in Deep Space Nine.
Was she?
Yeah, she was. Scorpina, the episode with the other eugenics people that Bashir was helping, the female.
The only one that I can think of is Divatox that she was in.
Or Divatox, sorry, it was Divatox, not Scorpina. I'm getting names confused. Divatox. Divatox was in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. Yeah, I know she was in that one. You had Sky in Discovery, SPD Blue.
Yeah, and Guzman was in Enterprise, like a few of the first episodes of Enterprise. I know there's been some others, but I figured that'd be a fun crossover type thing to maybe get some people interested in stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Silver Tiger says he loves After Effects, so yes, I will be contacting you. But yeah, that's gonna do it for us for this week. Thanks, Silver Tiger, for hanging out with us, and we'll see you next time. Let's see if I can find the right.